Man, one of the things that I detest about clients who are not timely, well, that's one part I don't like about clients that are not timely, is that they think that their timing is actually normal.
Yeah, and it's not.
They think that their timing is actually normal. They believe like, oh yeah, it's just a couple of days late. This is actually good. No. And you're looking at them like, I can't start nothing.
You coming back late with whatever is pushing the project way back.
The whole project is off schedule. But they still
expect the project to be at the same deadline.
No. This is time is money, and that's the thing. That's just under my skin. There's a guy that booked a 15-minute call with me, and then just messaged like, "Oh, I'm sorry, something came up, I couldn't make it." Then he booked another one, and missed that one too. And I'm just like, fam, now some of these are church folk, right? But then it's like, but bruh, I'm not in church mode here.
Right.
This is business, and I need to get this thing going. I can only imagine with photography, especially getting ready for, because you work with a makeup artist and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I have hair and makeup artists that I'll contract with and client closet and all that. I just had a session last week that no show, which that's the first time in years.
Oh, wow.
It's the first time in years. So I don't know.
Goodness.
That's crazy.
It is.
Do you schedule that whole makeup section, get ready section
that's
earlier?
That's on their own. So
so they come ready.
Yeah, they come ready.
Yeah. So that's not part of your shoot time. Okay.
Right. But it's kind of wild. I mean,
how do you not show up?
Right. Like, especially when you're my clients invest a lot.
Yeah.
So
I'm
like, okay, well, I sent multiple messages. I don't know. I'm like, okay, I guess you'll just figure it out.
You'll just figure it out. That's wild to me.
I'm going to enjoy my Tuesday evening at home, though.
And still be paid.
Because you answered my question because I was getting ready to say, see, with my 15-minute call, there's no money exchanges hands, and that's probably what I need to do. Just at least charge $9. We talked about this.
Yeah, we did.
I was going to charge like
the $9
discovery call, and because even if it's $5, I feel like the person will actually figure out how to show up.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Don't want to lose
and then
money.
I don't waste my time. This is really not about of making money. I just want to meet with them. Right. So it's just little crazy things like that.
And we are back, y'all, for another episode of the Incubator's Couch, which is
unscripted, vulnerable conversations with
entrepreneurs and business owners just like you. And today, guess who we have on the show, y'all? We have Tiffany Crenshaw with Animal House Photography. I said that right.
You did.
Right?
Wow.
And she is a photographer, y'all. She does all the things.
Yes.
You photograph babies, parents,
wait.
families.
Say the name of the business one more time. I didn't catch it.
Animal House Photography.
Animal House.
I would love
you
to
got
know
to
what
give
that
us
name.
some
I
more.
knew you were going to ask about that. I was just waiting on the name question.
Because I'm like, does the Animal House describe the client? No, I'm just joking. Maybe.
So when I started this business 6 years ago, we had 2 daughters, little girls, and we nicknamed them Penguin and Panda.
Oh.
And so it kind of became our just family thing that we were the Animal House. So it just transferred over to
I love that.
business.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love when the name has
really cool.
significance to the family as well. And it also has it lends itself to being the family business.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like everybody's involved because
they really are.
Yeah.
They
Our
are.
business,
the husband's building
everybody's involved.
sets.
Really?
The oldest daughter, she's learning to cull pictures and sort through. So
I like that.
the baby, he just is the CEO. I mean, he don't really do anything, but he's there, bossing everybody around. So,
that's what babies do.
That's what they
a
do.
Full-time job.
That is awesome. I love that. That's
man,
so cool.
man. Cool. It's wild navigating family and business and life and parenting and kids and school and all of the things. It's always wild. So
it is.
Man. So tell us a little bit about the business.
Yeah. So the business started in 2019. I want to say 2018 in South Carolina. That's where we lived before we moved to Huntsville. And I had a 3.5-year-old and a baby. A new baby at home. And so I just, started taking pictures like a lot of parents. Yeah. And over time, within that first year, people started asking and like, and I would was like, no, I'm not. And then I had a coworker that said, I just feel like you're sitting on talents that God gave you.
Oh, wow.
She had to bring, she had to bring God into it. So I said, okay.
Listen, won't he do it? Listen, one of y'all are out there right now sitting on some talents that God has given you. I'm pausing right now. I'm looking right at you on the camera. I want you to feel it. I want you to feel the weight of that thing. It's on your shoulders. You've been ducking and diving. God has been calling you to do something. Oh, listen, he will set it up. I'll tell you. That's my testimony. He will set it up. And you won't have any other option, any other opportunity, no other path to take. So I love to hear this kind of thing. Yeah.
And it's, and it's hard to think about what life would look like had I not listened to her, because now we have this whole business where I, been able to really capture moments for hundreds of families, and really important moments.
That's
first,
good.
Last, all the things in between.
All the things in between.
So,
That's amazing. I love that. And I love the trajectory of it as well, just being able to navigate. So I have to ask, this is a technical question purely for Kirk. What do you shoot with?
Yes, I shoot with a Canon R6.
Come on, Canon.
Come on, Canon. Okay, I'm with my people.
Well, for photography, I absolutely love Canon. I love the look of it, the colors, the tones. But for video, I'm a Sony guy.
Sony guy for video.
Now, a good friend of mine is also Canon for video, and I love his work. As well, we've had him on the couch before, and then we've so many people shoot everything with everything, right? So, so you have your Nikon fans are diehard.
Yes, they are.
Right, they're just diehard.
They're just diehard. I didn't say anything else. Notice I left it there. I said they're diehard. I didn't say good or bad. No shade. I just said that they're diehard. Family, they're diehard. But the Canon folks, man, I don't know. We started with Canon.
We did. We absolutely did. We just loved the way the pictures would come out.
The colors are, they're really
rich
beautiful.
And nice. So,
yeah. I'm not heavy edit. You accentuate, but man, I love that how it came off camera. Yeah. So
because originally we were a web design and photography.
Oh
business.
no, we dropped the photography.
We did do some photography.
Yeah, we did.
We did one wedding.
We
were like,
and you said that was it.
We're done.
The Lord didn't call you there.
No. That was not our anointing, not our gifting. No, one wedding, and we were like, that's it. That was fun. Never again.
You did it, and it happened.
Yeah.
And listen, and that's
the
business though.
Came out decent, but I was just like, no, it's too high stress.
It is high. It's high stakes.
But to me, that's business. That's you have to find those areas. Like, okay, we dabbled in that. That's not our thing,
right?
Or you try something else out. And you're like, whoa, that's actually really fun. So I'm assuming the same for your business.
Yeah, when I started, and I always knew I wanted to do kids and because I was a teacher before I did this.
Nice. I was going to ask what was the previous vocation.
Teacher and reading, a reading coach, literacy specialist, all that. So
hey man, I feel like you got some content in your future.
I know.
I'm just gonna leave it there. I always have to put it out there. This is like a recurring theme.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but I started with babies, just trying to pose them on the blankets and all that, and put outfits and things, and it just wasn't good. Honestly, it was really bad. And I realized that a lot of those poses, you have to be really trained.
Yes,
they don't, it's not just the way it looks. A lot of that is post-production.
And so right.
It's a lot that goes into it, and it just wasn't for me. I felt really drawn more to the lifestyle and the real, the more documentary style. And so that's kind of where I've ended up with families and newborns, and I do branding as well, but again, I try to make it really more storytelling than stiff headshots. Just really make it the story.
And I know storytelling is what Kirk loves.
Yeah. It's all about story. It's all about story. Story is the cheat code. Story is everything. And if you can figure out what your story is, you're already halfway there. So I love that. And you always want to have a carved out niche for yourself, even within this broader photography realm. It's like, why would somebody come to me?
Right.
And you've kind of created a space where it's like, no, if you want that kind of headshot, you want to go to these other people. But if you want this is really what I do. I love that.
And you have to be able as a business to be at a point where you feel comfortable referring people out. Because when you start and you just
there's
think,
a hunger.
you're like, I'll do it. I'll do everything. And then you're mad because you're like, that was terrible. And so I'm at the point, even just right before I came here, it was, about a studio backdrop. And it's like, well, let me give you some people that would be great for you. Instead of trying to figure it yourself, and then you end up disappointing the client
and you don't want that.
And it was a
you're
good
not
experience.
fulfilled.
Right. not fulfilled. I think that part alone for business owners, it's not just about the money. Yeah. It's about being fulfilled. Like when you have the right client doing the right project and they are excited when you give them your best, that fills you back up.
Yes, it does.
Well, nobody's turning down the money. I just want to be clear.
We all want to get paid.
We gotta get paid. But it fills you back up as well. I love that.
Absolutely.
That's
and
awesome.
it saves space for you to do the projects that you want to do.
Because everything you say yes to means you got to say no to something else.
Yep.
My God.
That's
the
good,
gems
y'all.
already.
That's good.
Come on, somebody. I'll need to get y'all. Hope you're taking notes in the chat. This is a good time to grab that share link and send it to somebody. Text a friend. Tag a terrible client and let them know.
No,
I'm just
we're
joking.
not doing
I'm
that.
just joking. No, I'm not joking. But tag somebody and let them know that the Incubator's Couch has begun. This is podcast format. We don't have the host rant. We don't have resources of the week, any of that stuff. We just dive right in, and we're having a great conversation today with our good friend, and we're ready.
And we are ready for the story.
The story. We call it the therapy session.
Yes.
She's on the couch. See?
Right,
She's on the couch.
I should have had this when it happened. I needed the couch.
You needed it. See?
I did.
This is a clip right here.
Yes.
I needed the couch.
I needed the couch.
This is what this space is for.
Exactly.
Okay, all right, let's dive in. I'm excited.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when this was actually, I'd say, first potential client when we moved to Huntsville. So we moved here in 2020. Huntsville. I know Huntsville did me dirty. We moved here in 2020 at the start of the pandemic, March 1st. So really at the start, right there. And so it was 2021 when things were like just starting to open back up. Right. And I had this client reach out. We'll just call her Sarah. That's not her name. We'll call her Sarah. I don't know. Yeah. And so, it was one of those things where you're so excited because you're in a new city.
Yes.
You haven't had business for a year and you're like, great. Somebody wants family pictures.
Let's go.
Let's go. Absolutely. Right. And so there were some red flags early on that I ignored.
See, I need to have like a button that shows like a red flag on screen.
Right. You need a red flag.
Red flag on the play. Oh,
and
my
so
word.
A lot of our communication had been through Messenger. She found me on Facebook.
Okay.
That was mistake number one, was that we communicated a lot
on Messenger. Yeah, not in an official.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I should have had that boundary of, my inbox. Ooh. This is where you can find me, Sarah.
Yes.
Sarah. And so we had made dates. We had set up dates for the photo shoot. I knew she had a blended family, which I said, great. We'll be, that's fine. And, she had said, sometimes it's hard getting everyone's schedules together. I said, I understand that. I said, now, however, she said, well, what if we have to just cancel that day because the bonus kids aren't there? And,
look.
Red flag. Red flag. And so I tried to respond professionally and said, I totally understand and empathize with that. However, when I block off a session, I can't schedule another one.
Yes.
So I will try to work with you, but if it's a recurring thing, then it would have to be a new booking.
Yeah.
And so Sarah popped off in the inbox and the messenger.
Really?
I mean, like if someone could be yelling via messenger, it was just this long.
Was it in all caps?
There was a lot of caps in there.
Oh.
And, she's like, I told you our family is blended and how could you, all this stuff.
Wow.
But then she said, I'm being a little emotional. I need to step back. I'm yelling. I'm angry. Like I shouldn't have said those things, but she didn't delete them. I'm like, what? To me, if I know I'm being angry, let me erase,
delete,
and start. No, she left the whole thing there. So
I would probably go and seek another photographer, because I messed this up. Maybe,
right?
My goodness.
And my husband, once I read, he said, "So you're canceling?" I said, "No, I'm gonna give. She didn't mean it. I'm gonna give her a chance."
We need to have the husband's husband come and sit on the couch.
Right, come and sit on the couch. So I should have brought him with me today. So that was red flag number one. We had a couple other instances where she just was very quick to spout off. And, I'm like, she's got a lot. Like maybe she's got a lot going on. I don't know. So it comes time for the session. Okay. And she's had reminder emails. We've mentioned the date 3 times in this text, in this message thread.
Yeah.
We've confirmed the dates. We're good to go. So the morning of the session, I just send her a little message. I can't wait to see your family today.
Oh boy.
So then she messages and says, I must have been confused. I thought it was tomorrow.
Oh my goodness.
And I said, okay, well, I can't do it tomorrow because we're going to be out of state. We actually were just waiting to do the photos, and then we were loading up in the van.
Right.
We were headed out to Florida. First family trip since COVID. So we were like, we're going.
This
is happening.
And then Sarah, she starts.
Oh my goodness.
And Sarah's hot mad. So she's like, I'm not in town today, because she was from Birmingham. I should have said that. She was in Birmingham. So she said, I don't have hotel we're coming in tomorrow. We already have plans today. I'm thinking, well, I also have plans. We can't get there till tomorrow. I said, well, I can't do it tomorrow. I'll be out of town, but I'm happy for free to reschedule next week or the week after. And she said, I cannot believe how selfish you are.
Whoa, wait.
How inflexible. Like, so I missed the date. Okay, my bad. But we can't do it today. And so you said you'd be flexible. So at this point, I'm like, okay, I'm going to take a minute. I'm going to take a minute.
I think I need to go sit on the couch.
Right. I'm like, I give it to husband, and he's like, "Give me the phone." I'm like, "No.
Hold on.
Like,
yeah, give me the phone."
He said,
husband,
give
we
me
must
the
have
phone.
you come. You must come. Okay.
But at this point, I'm really upset because I'm thinking, so I'm supposed to end my family vacation. And I even went back and I said, we had it confirmed 4 different places. She said, okay, well, I got confused. So
that's your problem, not mine.
So we go on the trip. I know.
No way.
Yo, this is crazy.
It was wild. So we go to Florida. We're driving. I'm mad. I'm just like, and I told her, I'll talk to you. Like, let's talk tomorrow. I don't think I can talk today. We're trying to get out of town. We're going to revisit this tomorrow. And then she comes back and says, she's like, I don't think it needs to wait till tomorrow because whatever. I said, well, it's going to need to wait because I'm not in a place to talk to you right now.
Another thing, pause.
Yeah.
Don't schedule anything before family vacations because that cloud is going to hover over you like the entire time.
That has happened before.
Yes.
We've never touched on that before. That's a huge point for entrepreneurs, business owners, man. And it is because it really will dampen the whole trip. Anyway,
and it did. You're right. Like the whole drive. That's what's on, what respond. And I'm writing and deleting because I want to be professional, even though she's been very disrespectful to me. And so the next day, and she keeps messaging me thinking I'm going to respond to her when I said, no, I'm done until tomorrow. But that's how people are that are that way. They're in their mind that they are the most important person in the room. So we get to the next day. I say, would you like to schedule a time to talk? Because she's asking for full refund. And I'm saying no. I said no.
Absolutely not.
We can reshoot. You can get 50%, which it really was generous.
Yeah.
But I said, but you're not doing full because I've already spent the time planning.
Yes, you have.
So you're not getting. So, so then she says, because she's moving to Huntsville soon. And she says, Huntsville's not that big. And I would hate.
Wait a minute. I'm afraid of what you're about to say.
You know what I'm about to say. She said, I would just hate for you to get off on the wrong foot in your new town.
What?
Okay. And I asked her, I said, is this like a threatening?
That's a threat.
And she said, no, I'm just speaking that it's a small place and it may not be big enough for your business if this isn't resolved. I said, okay.
Oh, that's a threat.
So
that's a threat.
Clear.
Right.
Black and white.
So I say, again, we can schedule a time to talk on the phone. I'm done with the messages.
Yeah.
If you would like. And she said, yes, I would. So we schedule a time to talk. I call her. No surprise. She doesn't answer.
Of course not.
And she says, I'm busy. Can we schedule another time? I said, no. So at this point, we're done.
Yeah, we're done.
Pretty much.
We're just done. So, and that was that was the end. She blocked me on everything, but that was the end of, and I was waiting for the like bad reviews.
Yeah.
And she
Right.
never did. Maybe
she
because
knows,
she knew
she knows deep
maybe
down
because
that
she knew
she
How
she
do
was
you
gonna
tell
be
that
crazy.
story? How
She's
do you,
in the
She
wrong.
probably told somebody else, and they were like,
Sis. No.
"How did you get
But
the wrong
do people?
date?"
I just wonder because these people have friends, right? So like, I don't know. It's
I guarantee
you know,
they told a
somebody
friend.
must-
she told
yeah,
a friend.
she
He
had
or she
to.
or her
they-
husband,
or
and he
somebody,
was like,
and they were just like,
You's crazy. You
Right.
crazy.
So you expected them to do what? Like, that's not like. Yeah, she was
I
actually
think
being
that's
very
what
quiet.
happened.
I think
that's what happened.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
she may have even tried to tell somebody, and the person that she told was probably like, "No, you're in the wrong. Hundred
Right.
and thousand. Like, go to any other photographer in any city, and they're
Yeah.
gonna tell you, you booked, you paid, you don't get full refund.
Right.
No.
You had the wrong date. That's
That's
on you.
right.
So no, and so I'm pausing because
Was that it?
That was it. I've never heard from her anymore.
Wow.
That I mean,
Oh my goodness.
that was
Have
it.
you seen her?
I've never even seen her in real life. We
Wow.
never met
Okay.
Yeah.
face to face
Yeah,
because she was in Birmingham.
Yeah.
She was moving. I think
Wow.
the next month. So
Wow.
we were both new, and I think we
Wow.
kind of initially bonded over the fact that we were both coming
coming
in
to-
to a
to-
new city. And from what I could tell from just her socials and things, she had a pretty prominent job, it seemed. So I was nervous, like maybe she has a lot of, but
Yeah.
it never
Never
Nothing
materialized.
materialized. Wow.
nothing materialized.
Wow.
So that's crazy.
You know, so
But, yeah.
before I dive in, what were your takeaways from? I mean, you shared
Yeah.
several already, but
Yeah.
what were some of
Right.
your takeaways from this experience?
So there's a couple of things I changed after Sarah.
After Sarah,
After Sarah.
hashtag
Right.
after Sarah.
One being shifting my primary means of communication with clients to my like CRM booking
Yes,
platform.
yes.
Okay.
And that has helped a lot because again, I think sometimes we get really comfortable and casual with people.
Yes.
Yes. I
You
think
know,
so, too.
in text and things like
Yeah.
that. And it can take away a little bit of that professionalism
Absolutely.
where they
Yes.
think that they can just like
Absolutely.
talk to you any kind of way.
Absolutely.
And
you
whenever
know?
they want.
And whenever they want. And even now, my clients do have my phone number because there are things that last minute things like if the location needs to change, if there's weather or, you know, something that
Yeah.
we can shoot
Yeah.
a quick text.
Yeah.
But the primary details, all of the dates and like contracts, everything is through
In
an
the
email.
online system,
Yeah.
through
Wow.
an email.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah. And then
Which
you have
makes
that
perfect
paper
sense.
trail
Yes.
and,
Right.
Yes.
you know, and
Yeah.
you have time to formulate your
Your thoughts.
thoughts
And thanks
things
to
like
AI, you can put it in there and let it come out real nice.
that. Right.
Or I mean,
Yeah.
the other thing is that, you know, with email or your CRM, there's kind of a shut off time as well. I mean,
Right.
you don't have with a DM. I mean, that can come in. Your notifications are probably just turned on. So I mean, that can come in on a Saturday night. It can come in on a
Right.
Sunday. You know, when you're completely out of work mode. Whereas you log into your CRM, log into your
Right.
email,
Yes.
you're already in a mindset. Let me get to this work.
Right.
So it also kind of puts it in its own basket, if you will,
Yeah.
and separates it from your personal life. So that's always, in my opinion, just wise to have
Yeah.
it separate. Even though entrepreneurs, we work at all hours.
We do. We work at all hours.
But at least you have
But
it.
I think setting that,
Absolutely.
you know, expectation with clients,
Yeah.
and I'll
Yes.
tell them, you have my phone number. However, when you text me, it may be 24 hours.
Yes.
So, and I've had clients that, you know, they waited until Saturday evening to start shopping for their Sunday session. And they're like, what about this outfit? What about this outfit? And I'm like, I'm not working right now.
I'm not available.
You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and most are very respectful, and most will say, "I know it's late. Don't think you need to look at this. I just because you
While
know,
they're
moms,
thinking
they're
about it, I've
like,
done that too.
While
While
I'm
they're
thinking
thinking
about
about
it,
it.
can I just put it here so
Yeah,
I don't
I've done
forget?
that too.
You
Right.
know,
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know,
It makes sense, but it's not something you want to encourage.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So making that boundary. But I am always appreciative of the client who can actually say in the message, you don't have to look at this now.
Right.
And I know this is not really the right communication method. And I have I do a lot of work with friends as well, longtime friends, and they still very much respect the process, if you
Right,
will.
and the
they have my
boundaries.
number. They could just drop me a line. They could call me just to shoot the breeze, but they still very much respect the
Respect it.
process.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I do appreciate. So
I had a client from church. Well, potential. We haven't worked together. A girl from church. They have a new baby, And she put in a lead form through like my CRM,
that's amazing.
And I was like, I text her, I was like, wow. And she's like, I wanted to be, this was the channel that you, I'm like, thank you for like respecting that there's a process, not just like, hey
random
sis, like, can I have some pictures?
And a discount.
Right,
they always come with a discount.
That's what. Now listen, that is coming. If they hit you on a text thread, that is coming. That is a guarantee. But no, that's good. I like that. I mean, even as a, for those that are not in necessarily business for themselves, but you have friends that are in entrepreneurship or running their own thing, it's good when you're ready to patronize them to use their process.
Yes,
I think that they will thank you for that. They will absolutely thank you for that. That's good. Again, I don't know if
there's more.
There's more. I'm certain.
Is there more?
That would be the first. I think the other part of that. So now I have pre-consultations with any of my clients. So when they book, they come to my studio.
Okay.
We sit down for 30 minutes to an hour. I mean, sometimes it's shorter, but we sit down, we talk through their vision for the session. I share my process, all of that,
Absolutely.
And so it's almost, in some ways the moms, sometimes they come as family, but it depends on work schedules. But a lot of times the moms will be in there and they're, we're laughing, they're crying because they, a lot of times for them, this might be the only time they've really sat down to just have like face-to-face talk with somebody.
Real
and
talk.
They're sharing like, maybe their kid's graduating and they're like, I don't know where the time has gone. We
haven't even processed
this. We haven't had pictures.
It's almost like a therapy session. It's a therapy session.
It is, I'm like, here's but I'm able just to really from there build that connection with them, that I'm not just showing up with a camera. I have to have a connection with you.
Right.
And they walk away knowing the level of customer service and expectation on both of our parts. Like you have to also show up emotionally ready for your session. It's not just, I'm just going to hop out and take some pictures,
No.
So that has helped because usually at that point, I know like, maybe this isn't going to be a good fit. And I've had a consultation like that where I was like, this isn't going to be great for either. So let me help you find somebody else, so that would have helped because I think I would have known from the get, like, this is not the one. This is not the one. This is not the one. Raising your prices. So that has been a huge, I've found that
to filter out.
And it's not 100%, but a lot of the people that are investing a lot in a session, they're just in a different place. And it doesn't even mean that they are earning tons and tons of money. I have clients from all ends of the spectrum, but they value it as an investment. So it may be that they've been saving for 2 years for this, or, but they come with this, it's just a different
mental space.
Especially if you've been saving for it. I mean, this is an investment.
Right.
You're going to, get it. Let me get every drop. Let me follow the process. Clearly this person has designed a process that will allow me to have the best outcome.
Right.
So let me follow that process because I want to have the best. I think that's such a great qualifier for clients. And even as you're going into business for yourself to know, like, man, that's something you want in a potential client. You want somebody who really wants the best
values,
outcome,
right?
The best value,
values the experience that they're gonna, have. So those are probably the biggest lessons. Also, putting your foot down. Like if someone is speaking disrespectfully to you, like just be done. You don't. It's your business. And I think as business owners, we're so afraid of that bad review. Like
that you're willing to take the crap from people, and that's not okay.
And literally, that's why this show exists. Quite literally, because we're like, man, there's got to be more. We used to have these conversations just the two of us, and it was like, there's got to be more people out here
who are going through the
exact same thing. It's like, man, I really don't even want to message back this client right now, but I don't want a bad review. I don't, they're who's in their network, I don't know. You never can tell. So it's like, let me try and see how we're gonna navigate this thing. That's always in the back of your mind, and it's not something that's talked about much. But absolutely, there comes a point where you do have to just say, you should probably find someone else. I'm not for everyone. And it doesn't look like we're a good fit. I do a lot of coaching, and I always have this initial call to ensure that it's a good fit, because my style may not fit. And there's just so many people out there who are just not doers. So that's a whole issue.
That says a lot.
They're not.
They're not doers.
They're not doers.
Right.
Yeah. Anything else that you'd like to share?
I think those are the
No,
big.
she said that was it.
I
She
think
said that was
those
it.
are-
She said that was it. What you got? What you?
Yeah, if you got a question, you tell me. I'm
no
like,
question. I was just
No, not
wondering if there was
question.
more.
What takeaways did you
Yeah.
hear in there as well from the whole thing? I mean, there was some definite triggers.
A lot of triggers. Like oh my gosh,
The heat was rising.
The heat was really rising. Oh my
it's been what,
goodness.
4 years? I'm like, when I think about it though, I still get mad. I'm like, man,
No,
I'm
really?
still mad at her.
For
So
real.
there's a
about
piece
it.
that we didn't capture because we were talking about this before we hit the record button. But you had said that your husband was asking, he's like, which one are you going to talk about?
Right. He already knew.
He already
So
knew.
when you guys had told me the topic and bad client experiences, I was like, so that's what the podcast is. He said, oh, you go talk about Sarah.
Yeah.
I said,
Yes, absolutely. We all
said,
have
yeah.
that
We
one
all-
client.
Right. Who is your Sarah?
He knows who my Sarah
I already
is.
know.
Oh my
I don't
goodness.
even have any
He already
words.
knows,
No
yeah.
more words. Yeah, we have talked about that Sarah several times, and we've talked about my Sarah as well. I don't know what to call him, Sam.
I
I'm
or
like,
feel
sorry
something.
to all the Sarahs out there. It's not you.
It's not you.
It was just a name.
I feel like people don't realize just how much power they have in their words and in their actions.
Yeah.
And they don't look at us as people too.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
we have feelings. Like
Yeah.
you need to be careful how you speak to people,
Yeah.
period.
Yeah.
Right.
You never
Because
can
that
tell.
thing can you can carry that with you like all
Yeah.
through your business. Like
Yeah.
they don't realize that. And I think
Yeah.
they really should.
On the flip side, I have to really be thankful to my Sam or Sarah because they helped me to
Right.
That
really
too.
kind of put some things in
Yeah.
place. Just kind of looking at it from a different perspective. I would not wish that experience on anyone else.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's why this podcast exists, because we want to be able to learn from one another before you have that experience.
Right.
These are some of the things you might want to do, because if you don't, something like this could be possible.
happen.
Right.
And so
Absolutely.
if you're new to business and you're watching this, if you've been in business for a while, you just haven't had that kind of experience, there's some nuggets that we hope you've been able to pick up along the way throughout the conversation today.
Yeah.
It's
And
been
the
amazing.
things that you've implemented, like
Yeah.
really, if you're a photographer having that session, I
Yeah.
think that's gold.
Yeah.
Absolute
Yeah.
gold.
Yeah.
And I think you're doing a good job.
But
doing
you
that.
also, it's a fringe takeaway, not quite from the story, but just some of what you shared. I think recognizing that in your business, there's a service that you provide, right? But then there's another layer or
Yes.
several layers
That
deeper.
you do
And I think
provide.
you've kind of hit on that on some of what you shared in terms of these moms come in, and it's a moment where they sometimes probably haven't sat down to professionally talk with another adult woman in a
Right.
long time by
Right.
themselves, without
Right.
the family, not a mom. And it's like that, recognizing that is a
Yes.
component of what you provide.
Right.
You can actually really create that as a hallmark piece of the experience.
Yes.
I don't know if you know Gianna Snell. We had her on.
Online. We've never actually, we keep saying like,
Oh,
we
yeah?
need to
Connect. Yeah.
connect. We've never connected in person, but yeah.
But we've had her on the couch as well,
Yes, we
and that was one of the things she
I
talked
gotta
about.
find that one.
Oh yeah,
episode.
you should definitely. but that was one of the things that she talks about is it's so much more than a photo shoot. I mean, the type of photography she does, it's so much more than a photo shoot. What she's really giving back to this woman, or most of her clients
so
are
it's
women, is basically it's a esteem boost. I mean, essentially, it's let me show you what I see in you.
Right.
And for many of them, it's like, tears, all of the above.
Yeah, because
So-
usually, like one of my friends did a shoot with her recently, and there's always that time when they have them turn around to look at themselves in the mirror, and the tears that just starts to flow.
But she's designed the experience that
right,
way, and that's what I'm saying. Is
right.
like, even for I have a coaching client who does reaction. His whole channel is about reaction. So he married at first sight. All these married, all of the married ones. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
now.
I know.
So he's but what he realizes that in his reaction videos, they're not looking for his take. They're looking for basically they themselves see themselves in the show. And so he plays on that. He doesn't never say it, but just with how he shares his takeaways, well, they should have done this, because it's like that's what people watch his channel for, is because he's speaking to that deeper, that second level need.
Right.
And that's so good to know in business, that it's not just this one service that we provide. There's another layer that you're speaking to when you're providing a service in business.
Absolutely.
So those are some really good takeaways today,
that was
man.
great.
Wow. Listen, we gotta have you back.
I know.
We'll bring the husband back too.
Yes, because I feel like there was at least one more story, right? Because he's like, which one? And you knew each one.
There's a couple more. There's a couple more.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, take a second to
tell us about what do you have coming up next? What do you want people to know about?
Yeah. So a couple of things in terms of like family sessions. It's going to be, we're gearing up for fall, which I know is crazy. It's May, but for me, fall starts in about May.
Oh, wow.
People start scheduling those family sessions really early.
That's awesome.
So if people want, to have a really amazing family session experience, I would love to have them.
Yeah.
And then I do coaching for like creative small business women, and work on them with how to balance family. With your business and marry those together. So if anybody wants to chat, we should
Note taken.
Yeah, and where can they find you?
Yes, they can find me on Instagram at Animal House Photography, or my website, which is animalhouse/photography.com.
That's it.
Awesome.
I like it. I like it. We'll definitely be putting that in the description and in the first comment below the video. So you can find her, follow her, patronize. Like if you're in Huntsville, man, or even if you're not in Huntsville, you're a little bit close. You can
drive
make your way on down.
Make your way on down.
Make your way on down. This has been fun. I hope it was fun for you as well.
Fun.
Good.
Yeah,
good.
This was really fun.
Definitely.
And we're excited about this. Family, listen, we're always wanting to make sure that we hear from you as well. Don't hesitate to drop a comment below and make it a long comment as well, right? This is your therapy session as well. We will respond. Share with us some of the things that you've been going through in business. This is what the Incubator's Couch is all about. We want to hold space for business owners to have that take a breath. You've been doing a lot, so take a breath and really kind of affirm some of the things you've been going through, process them a little bit, and then figure out how that's going to have impact into how you serve your next client and your next client and your next client, because there's always going to be another client. Contrary to popular opinion, there's always another client, so you can let that bad one go and look to God for a new one. Yes. Hallelujah, somebody. All right, with that said, we're going to close it out.
If you want to hear more stories like this, definitely click the video to hear more and to watch more of Incubator's Couch.